Okay, oh yeah, that is not what I want. What I want is, let's start from here and work our way up. Okay, Dan opened the door to the cabin, allowing Lucifer quickly to get inside. First, before shutting the door, the snow has been almost nastiest. Then, when they first enter the chlorine corridor, but as they attach, but their return in the peak, it has started coming down hard. Lucifer took off his scarf and coat. Then the fireplace started, and then he proceeded to start down on the bed, based outside the fire, and let out an exhausted breath. You okay, Lucy? You know you're not supposed to be moving around much right now. Daniel, I'm fine. I assume him best. I'm not due for another week. 3 weeks. Dan sat down next to him and put his hand on his lover's swell abdomen. That doesn't make me feel better. In the sunlight, maybe we shouldn't have come. Daniel, I promised your sister you'd be there. I don't deny you that. Plus, there's no way you're behaving those big got alone. Dan smiled at Lucifer at that. When Lucifer first heard that Dan's little sister asked him to give him away at her wedding, he knew his boyfriend wouldn't want to disappoint her, but he also knew that the other men's gossip, revealed trades to other homophobic, and Lucifer didn't want Dan facing that by himself. So, here they were in related cabin, sitting in the mountain, because there was no way Dan was standing with family, having to explaining how his male partner was pregnant. Hopefully, the snow didn't accept too much, and they could actually make it to the wedding. When Dan looked out the window the morning, any hopes he had disappeared. Several feet of the snow had come down the night. Completely covered their car and blocked the door. But they were especially trapped after he'd made phone calls to his sister and a road crew. Dan wandered into the kitchen area. Lucifer was by the stove flipping some pancakes when Dan embraced him from behind. I talked to the road crew. It's going to be at least 2 or 3 days before they can come digging us out. So I guess we'll be missing your sister's wedding after all, Lucifer asked. Yeah, just call to let her know she's a little upset, but understanding it's but you of our control. Lucifer slid last pancake onto the plate before flipping the stove off and turning around, embracing his boyfriend. I'm sorry, Daniel. I know you wanted to see her, but I could fly you there if you wanted to. No! Oh no! Dan warned you are no longer no condition to be flying anyway. Right now, we're going to stay right here until they dig us out, and hope you don't go into labor before. I'm sure everything will be fine. I love, and we have plenty of supplies to get us through all the night. Later afternoon. Dan scrolled through his phone while Lucifer took a nap. The nap. And the devil fell asleep in the afternoon and was considering oxes. There three as Murphy's and trends to suck mere emergency out of the person carrying them than a normal baby would. Dan interrupted from what was looking at by a whimper coming from the bed, and he walked over just as Lucifer sat up with a pained look on his face. Aww. Our offsprings keep using my insides as a bloody trampoline. Lucifer whines. I'm sorry, Lucifer. It's all right, Daniel. Lucifer assumes him. It's not like my water break broke. His words cut off with a sharp hesitant of pain, and it gush of fluid between his legs. Lucifer looked down in a horror at the growing wet spot on the bed. The bed, then back up at Dan. Well, speak of me. 3 hours later, the contractions were intensing, includingly. Dan had stepped on the bed and laid down a plastic sheet, but they brought a towel while Lucifer tried the wall around a bit. By the time Dan got everything set up, Lucifer was leaning heavily and on the wall. Bailey to stand. Dan helped him get undressed and guide him to sit down on the bed. Dan sat down, and on the other side, Lucifer crawled into him. Why did we ever think this was a good idea? Lucifer pretended between contractions. Dan chuckled as he kissed the top of his forehead and dumped his hair. I believe your extra words were our unchan desire, your enchanted desire, another enchanted to play with, and we simply can't leave basic unsatisfied that earn a weak laugh from the devil, which quickly turns into grum. Babe, I'm going to check and see how far along are you, okay? Lucifer nod, and Dan lead him back against the pillow, snap on a pair of gloves, and got between the legs. Dan stuck 2 fingers into the open, grateful that Amityville had given him a cash. What of course, in the angel delivery, so he'd know what the heck he was doing. Looking like you're fully dilated. On the next contraction, I want you to start pushing. When the next wave of pain hit, Lucifer grabbed Dan's hand and looked at him with a wild eye. I'm scared, Daniel. I am too, Lucy, Dan admitted. But we'll get through this at the same time. We have everything else together. Together, Lucifer agreed. Then he took a breathing and started hearing bear down. The next hour pushing had Lucifer cursed in every language he knew and does. Boy, he knows a lot of them, Dan thought. Intense burning situation creasing Lucifer to cry out, Fuck, that hurt. Why the bloody hell is that? That, Lucy said while trying to keep from crying, is our baby's head. Lucifer let out an eternalist laugh, and before another contraction ripped through him, Daniel, I can't do this much longer. You're almost there, babe. Keep pushing. A few minutes later, the head was out. Dan made sure the cord was wrapped from around the baby's neck. You're about done, Dan said as the shoulder image gave me one more huge push. Lucifer took a breath and bared down as hard as he could. With a final yell, the baby slid out into Dan's arm. There was tears, moments of silence while Dan sucked out of the air, but then a piece of cry rang out. The read both men's tears. It's a girl. Dan cried as he laid the screaming child on Lucifer's chest. We have a daughter, Lucy. Lucy stroked his thumb over the little curb and checked, cursing her to quiet down, and looked up at him, and she had his thick, dark curls and final feet, but those beautiful green eyes were all Daniel had. Daniel cut the cord and made sure the placenta was delivered. The birth cord would up and disappeared on its own within a few days, he cloned the area up as best he could before crawling up, putting his arm around his little family, and they sat there quietly, listening to the coos and siffle of their baby, their new daughter. These are most medical sound I've ever heard. All winter, Lucifer said, be able to lose the gain on his face as he stares into the beautiful eyes. You know, Dan, I think I would be perfect naming her Winter Meadow Morning Espinosa, giving her both our last name, when Dan said as he kissed Winter's forehead. And I am hoping she won't be the only one. Dan, what are you talking about? Dan reached over and to the nightstand next to the bed and opened the drawer. He took out a small box and handed it to Lucifer. I was hoping to do this, probably said as he opened the box. Lucifer hand revealing block and silver with a ruby intentionally, but now it seems like the perfect timing. Lucifer, Morningstar, my soul, Morningstar, I love of my life and owner of my soul, will you marry me? Yes, Daniel said, shaking. I'd love to. The road crew finally got them and dragged out their 3 letters. Chloe had already started the trip. And she showed up. Already started the trip there when called her about the delivery, and she showed up at the cabin in the ledge SUV equipment with the car set, and they brought Dan loading Winter into the viral first. Then he helped Lucifer, who was still quite woozy and would be so for at least a week, get next to her. Dan got in on the other side of the baby while Chloe designed to the driver them back. You guys ready? Chloe asked them, and they nodded, and Chloe pulled out of the driveway. Dan and Lucifer held hands, stepping over the Winter's car seat, smiling as they committed, and they knew eventually they'd face as a family. The Amazing Life Forever has done community lecturing stories. Well, I have that part. Having to have that part. That's the thing. Let me get to my printed updates. Nothing there, so yeah, nothing there. So pretty much, yeah. Yeah, all this is nothing. But you know, technically I will always stay on Wattpad because it's the thing. And plus, I already finished the story. So, let me pause this. Okay, this is what they did. And that's what it is. So,